to The Coffee Grind with the Denton Chamber of Commerce, powered in part by Thin Line Fest and Classic of Denton.
Good morning, Denton. My name is Travis Veselka, and I'm the Director of Membership and Marketing for the Chamber of Commerce. And with me today, as always, is my co-host.
Good morning, Denton. My name is Randy Skinner, and I serve as chair of the Marketing and Membership Committee for the Chamber. And as a member, I represent Denton County Friends of the Family.
Awesome. So today you're watching the Chamber Coffee Grind. We are recording live from the DentonRadio.com studio inside of the Welcome Center on Downtown Square. We're here to keep you up to date with what's happening in the business community and highlighting featured initiatives and events from the Chamber of Commerce. So today we're going to be talking to Heather Hightower.
Hillary, but close.
Hillary. I'm so sorry. I thought I had it.
We should have required name tags for all of us. I think, pretty sure you messed up a name last week, too.
I sure did.
Call you out.
Well, no, I didn't, and then I thought I did, and now I've set myself up for it. Like, now it's surely going to happen.
I feel like I jinxed you because I totally said, I hope we don't mess up on the beginning.
And there it is.
It's my fault, clearly, right?
I'm not going to blame you, though. So my apologies, Hillary. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
So we're going to be talking to you about Denton County Friends of the Family and Sexual Assault Awareness Month and how that is kind of intertwined with the community and what the community can do about these things. Businesses can get involved to resolve some of these issues. So let's just dive right in, shall we?
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, just to kind of jump on what Travis was saying to preface this is that we talk a lot at Friends of the Family about how this is a community-wide issue, but specifically, I think in the business community, it's really overlooked that it's something that does affect the business community. And of course, I was doing a little research about how it affects the business community. And Forbes put out an article a while back, and it was talking about just the economic impact that domestic violence, sexual assault has on a business. And the numbers were astonishing. I mean, as I think it was nationally, it has over an $8 billion impact. And that was about, and I'm butchering the numbers, you can Google it, but about $5 billion from healthcare costs alone, and then 2.5 just in lost wages, lost productivity. So those numbers alone, as we kind of talk more about stats, I think that really highlights that it's not just a women's issue. It's not just a victim issue. It's not just a community issue. It is something that's affecting our business community as well. So Hillary is a wealth of knowledge. I will just kind of turn it over to you. Like Travis was saying, share with us a little bit more about what is Sexual Assault Awareness Month and why it's important to have this discussion.
Sure. So Sexual Assault Awareness Month essentially is a national awareness month. And so every state in the U.S. celebrates it. I don't know if celebrate's a great word.
Observes it
in April. And essentially, there are some national sexual assault coalitions who help put out statistics and media and toolkits that agencies like Friends of the Family or businesses could use on their social media if they so chose. But when we're talking about it specific to Texas, 2 in 5 Texas women and 1 in 5 Texas men are victims of sexual assault. And so those numbers are staggering. And if you're thinking about these as adult folks who are going to school or going to work, then certainly those things are going to be impacting places of business. Another thing that we know about sexual assault is often we make friends at our places of employment and we disclose to our friends when we've been hurt or when something has happened to us. And so it helps when we're talking to the business community for folks to be trained on how to respond to someone if that is disclosed at work. Or maybe they're going to HR instead of, a friend at work, but maybe they're going to the human resources department and saying, this is the thing that has happened.
Right. And would you say that is something that should be a discussion to have with the HR professional?
I think if someone felt comfortable, absolutely. There's a lot of fear and shame around having been sexually assaulted, regardless of what that looks like. And when we talk about sexual assault, that's an umbrella term that can encompass anything from rape to voyeurism and exhibitionism that don't even involve touch.
Right.
And so part of Sexual Assault Awareness Month is hoping to break that silence, that we want to stand in solidarity with people who have been impacted. But I think one of our goals would be that we would hope that people would feel comfortable to come forward and speak to their human resources people about it.
Well, I think it says there's there's certainly certain businesses that have more of a culture where that is more of an accepted thing, the kind of the systemic shame that comes with it. Your business has the power to kind of say, hey, this is okay. These are things that we don't agree with. You know, you look at, I believe like J.C. Penney and Mary Kay, some of these large corporations have made strides to have this in their policies, their procedures, their manuals, and they talk about it. They have discussions about it. And so we provide a little insight about what that type of training for a business or an organization as a whole looks like, and what are some tools and things that you can kind of talk to that help get that conversation started, because it's an uncomfortable conversation to have sometimes.
Yeah, you know, I think even though we're in 2018, sexual assault is still a pretty taboo topic for people. You know, it's just out of a lot of people's comfort zone. And so as the director of the Prevention, Education, and Awareness team, all of what we do is go into the community to provide prevention. Right. But part of what we do is working with businesses or organizations on how to be better informed. We provide workshops for them based on, you know, if they have specific questions and needs, certainly we can customize it for them, but our general workshops are going through the baseline definitions, the foundations, the stats. We talk to them about how someone who has experienced sexual assault might show up at work, and you know, symptoms and things like that they may be exhibiting. Sometimes those are called red flags or warning signs, or being able to recognize abuse in others. And then we talk to them about the do's and the don'ts. And so the do's are, what can I do to best be supportive? What can I do to help this person? What can I do to not make this worse?
Right.
And then we talk about the don'ts. So the things that are more hurtful, the things that might re-victimize someone.
Oh, sure.
And the things that could potentially further silence someone who might be trying to come forward.
Indeed. So is there any information that you could provide that might be sort of an actionable thing that someone could maybe be on the lookout for, or kind of react to almost immediately, and
what should someone do?
Yes.
Like
what would be like the first thing that you would recommend for someone to do if they saw something?
So if they saw it happening, or they saw symptoms in someone?
Let's go with symptoms.
Okay.
You know, talking about coworkers in a business environment.
So one of the things, you know, as Randy was talking about, one of the things we notice almost immediately is a loss in productivity. And that may not be just not showing up to work, but it may be difficulty focusing, difficulty staying on task.
Right.
Those could also show up as physical symptoms, so headaches, stomach aches, things like that essentially is just dealing with trauma, but it's coming out in physical ways, if that makes sense. And so noticing those things in a coworker, and the quick tip would be checking on them, because a lot of times we just kind of, you know, turn
so-and-so has a headache today.
And turn around and don't really ask or pay attention. And so I think what we encourage is that bystander intervention. And so walking up and saying, hey, I've noticed that it's taken you longer to complete this task than it normally does. Is there something I can help you with? Is there something going on that you need to talk about? And just really asking those questions. As a society, we've kind of been trained to not get in other people's business.
Sure.
And research is showing, when it comes to sexual and domestic violence, that bystander intervention is key, and that both survivors and perpetrators alike say that a bystander intervention is often the thing that helps them the most, because even if in that moment it doesn't do anything, it plants a seed.
Absolutely. That's such a good way to think about that. So just compassion for your coworkers would be a really great first start. So what else are maybe some statistics that people might be surprised by, to know that sexual assault is something that is happening around them that they're not seeing? So what are maybe some other statistics that might surprise folks?
Yeah, I think talk a little bit about how it looks when we're talking about teens and children. So April, in addition to being Sexual Assault Awareness Month, is actually Child Abuse Prevention Month. And I know you have some information you can share about that, but then also kind of give a little insight into what it looks like for us when we talk about prevention. You know, it's education. And so it's not, make sure to, wear the right things, or be involved, or be aware of your surroundings, or take that self-defense class. Like those are great things to do if you choose to do them, but that's not really prevention.
No.
Prevention is education.
Yes.
So,
and so the things that you just mentioned are essentially things that we in the past have told potential victims to do to protect themselves. And if you're talking about real, true prevention education, you're aiming that at everyone. And so the potential perpetrators of those things are receiving that education. And so how not to hurt someone, and how to have good boundaries, and how to communicate if you're feeling like you are going to hurt someone, and some of those things. And so our education curriculum starts actually at pre-K, and with little bitty kids, we talk to them about safe and unsafe touch, safe and unsafe secrets, and safe and unsafe adults. And so those are the three main themes. And then of course, our little kid program, which is pre-K and kindergarten, is called Bumbles the Magic Bumblebee, and Bumbles talks to kids. And, Randy loves Bumbles.
I'm a big fan of Bumbles.
And so Bumbles talks to kids about those things, but then also there's a song and dance they can do at the end, and they talk about my body is mine, mine, and so that they have some ownership over their body and understanding, what that looks like. I noticed on our social media this morning, we talked about allowing kids to say no to and not forcing kids to give hugs to people and things like that. Right. And so that's a new approach when you're talking about, give your grandmother a kiss and some of those kinds of things. But what we want is for them to have ownership over their bodies so that they feel free and comfortable to set boundaries when someone is violating those. And so when all of our programs kind of graduate with information so that they're a little more age appropriate, they don't really believe Bumbles is magic by about first grade or second grade anymore. And so we have to talk about it in a different way. But I think when you're talking about stats for kids, 1 in 4 girls is a victim of child sexual abuse, and 1 in 6 boys is a victim of child sexual abuse. And so that can also relate back to the business community, because the people in our community who are working in businesses are parents.
Right.
And so if their kids are experiencing that, how do you then help them? And I think, Travis, you said compassion is such a key, and we all kind of giggled because it seems so common sense to us,
right.
But it's not that common for a lot of people. And most of the time it's not malicious that people don't show compassion. It's just that they don't know what to do.
Right. Right.
So, what is something that you'd like to kind of tell everybody? I guess I'm just trying to find what might be some information that people might not know about that could be really easy. It's graspable. They're just not going to seek it out. And maybe here's an opportunity for them to hear something that they wouldn't normally have gone to Google to find out about.
Education resources and
so
tools.
Okay, that's a good place to start. So what are some of the resources that a business person who either owns a business or is just an employee, not just an employee, but you are a working professional, might go to and learn about this stuff pretty quickly? Like where were resources going to be?
So I think one of the greatest resources, particularly about sexual assault for Texas, is the Texas Association Against Sexual Assault website. And their website is TASA.org, and that's TAASA.org. And so it's Texas Association Against Sexual Assault.org. And they have a lot of Texas specific stats on there, and then ways to get help. Most places like websites like TASA, or even, their counterparts for domestic violence, they have a place where you can enter your zip code and it will pop up the agency, like Friends of the Family closest to them. So the nearest rape crisis center, or perhaps the nearest crisis line that they could call, a hotline. We, of course, have a 24-hour crisis hotline that folks in this community can call. And I think the other really specific and great, well-built website for Sexual Assault Awareness Month is RAINN, which is the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, and that's RAINN.org.
Yeah, they don't make those easy.
No. And then, of course, our website, dcfof.org, has very local and specific to Denton information and for our agency.
Yeah, and there's on our website or through Facebook, or we can get you in contact with Hillary. You can always invite Hillary and her team in to do a training, to have a meeting and just answer some of those questions, and maybe start the conversation of how to have that discussion, which can be uncomfortable, but you know, it is happening in the workplace. It is affecting our employees. It's a responsibility as business owners and as a community to, you know, let victims know that there is a support there. So there's always the opportunity to bring Hillary and her team in to do those trainings as well. And I think that kind of made me think, like, I know we do a lot of one of the places that we do a lot of partnering is UNT and TW. And so, you know, they're obviously, they have a large population of students. Like we know that sexual assault, we see that a lot in the student populations. So kind of I know Renee wasn't able to be on, but talk a little bit about what that looks like and some of the organizations that you think are doing a good job of taking a stand. So I know UNT does a great job. Our City of Denton Police Department. There's some organizations that have taken advantage of the training that can be offered. So if you'll just speak a little bit to that.
Yeah, so we do a lot of trainings actually on the UNT campus and with different groups on UNT's campus, and they're unique to TW in that they have a survivor advocate on campus. And so Renee McNamara is who Randy's talking about. And so her role is so students can access her for advocacy. She can help students if they need to, you know, connect them to the police, or if they are having some drops in their own productivity at school. Renee can do some academic advocacy for them and help talk to a professor, things like that.
That's awesome.
It's wonderful.
So it's like having an ally. Within the organization.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And so instead of students on campus having to come to Friends of the Family for that advocacy, Renee can provide that to them on campus.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a great idea. And then for Texas Women's University, we partner with their Student Health and Wellness Center, and you know, both UNT and TW as well as NCTC partnered with us to do Take Back the Night at the beginning of April, which was our Sexual Assault Awareness Month kickoff event. And so each college or university has some designated folks who can be the person that someone who's been impacted by this goes to, and then they can get them connected. But we do a lot of trainings on those campuses. And so on the UNT campus, twice a month, we offer what we call a Sexual Assault and Domestic Violence 101 course. And so someone from my team goes onto their campus and either provides a 2-hour or a 4-hour workshop about, and anyone, student, faculty, or staff can sign up for those, and it's free for them to attend. And so then they get that knowledge and they can take that back to, you know, the academic advisors or the financial aid folks or wherever it is they work on campus. They can take that information back and share it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and some of the departments on campus have done a great job. We've recently, UNT Athletics has gone through the Green Dot Bystander Intervention Program. So every athletic trainer or coach in UNT Athletics department has just actually in March gone through the Green Dot Bystander Intervention training, and then the library staff, Renee and I trained them. So
what's the special designation for the name Green Dot?
Green Dot is a national program. It's a bystander intervention program, and that's just the name of it. And the premise of it is that if you've seen movies where there's like a zombie apocalypse and all the red dots show up on the map. And so their design is that when someone makes a choice to hurt someone else, whether that's with their words or with their bodies, that puts a red dot on the map. And green dots are there to be reactive. And so they can be a reaction to a red dot. So confronting someone if you see something on campus, or they can be proactive green dots. So what can you do in your space to let people know that violence isn't tolerated in your space?
That's awesome.
That's really cool. That's awesome. Did you have any other specific questions?
No, nothing specific.
So I think we can kind of wrap up with what are some of the ways that the community at large and businesses can get involved this month for the rest of the month with Sexual Assault Awareness Month?
Perfect. So tomorrow, April 19th, is actually Cup of Prevention Day for Denton County. And what we've done is partner with some local coffee shops, tea shops, cafes to, they've agreed to either host signs or talk to customers as they come through about Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And then a couple of local Coffee shops have agreed to have their baristas trained on sexual assault and intimate partner violence, or to host a training. So I know tomorrow morning at 7:30, Upper Park is hosting one, and then Cultivar is going to be having one as well. And so there are different places who've partnered in different ways. Other places have agreed to give us a percentage of proceeds for tomorrow during Cup of Prevention. And so that's April 19th. And then next Wednesday on April 25th is actually National Denim Day. And that's when I think I really like to encourage the business community to be a part of. National Denim Day started with the premise that most people who are sexually assaulted are wearing jeans and a t-shirt at the time of their assault. And so this old myth of, yes,
Right.
so
Isn't that crazy?
this
That is
old
so weird.
myth of your skirt was too short or you shouldn't have been wearing that has really got to go. And when you look at the stats, and those come from, of course, police reports and hospital reports, that most people are wearing jeans and a t-shirt at the time of their assault. There was a case, I believe it was actually National Denim Day isn't just for the U.S. It's
Across the
observed
worldwide, yeah.
across the world. But
It's a globe, and it's all on the same day. So everyone across the globe on the 25th will be participating.
This year it's April 25th. And so essentially there was a sexual assault that happened, and the young woman was 13 or 14 years old, and the person who assaulted her was found not guilty because the judge ruled that her jeans were so tight that she would have had to help him take them off. And so Denim Day was born.
Sure.
And one of the ways that we like to encourage the business community to get involved is because it's on a Wednesday. It's done strategically that way so that it's not on a Friday when some businesses have Cash Friday,
day, right.
you know?
Yeah.
And so on a day when most places are not allowed to wear jeans, we encourage businesses to have their employees wear jeans. And I know some places last year did a neat thing for us where they let their employees pay $5 to wear jeans on that Wednesday, and then
To
they collected
help
it
fund.
and then donated it to friends of the family. And
Yeah.
so of course that's a neat way that people got their employees to be engaged in that process. But I think it's just a really great opportunity that's fairly easy to do.
Absolutely.
And so
Or just wear jeans.
Yes.
Take a picture.
Yes.
And I mean, Denim Day is, like Hillary said, it's global. So share it on social media, and it's really just standing in solidarity and showing support. And I think that's a huge way to make a statement as a business that, we advocate and we support victims of sexual assault, and just by wearing jeans on a Wednesday.
That's all you have to do.
It's all you have to do. That's step one. Just take that step.
Indeed. And it demonstrates some compassion.
Absolutely.
It really
That's
does.
really awesome.
It really
does.
does. Well, I mean, we could talk all day.
Yes,
about
and
it,
this is not an
so.
easy subject
No,
to
it's
really
not.
discuss about in kind of what usually is kind of a casual kind of
Yeah.
vibe on the coffee grind. But, we had kind of talked about it, that this is an important thing that doesn't really get addressed in a business sense.
Right.
There are real costs involved. There are real repercussions
Absolutely.
that, I mean, of course, for victims, that's one thing. It's
Sure.
it's something you can't put a dollar amount on.
Right.
But there are waves that trickle out that absolutely have a dollar value on
Yes.
them. And it's in everybody's best interest to help.
Right.
Yes.
So,
Start
It
the
is.
conversation.
yeah. So, Hillary, thank you so much
Thank
for
y'all.
talking to us
Thank
about
you.
this. And again, I apologize for getting your name wrong
We
at
had
the very
already
beginning.
moved past it. You
know,
didn't
but
have to bring it
I
back
just
up.
I
He's
needed to
feeling really bad
apologize.
It's really
it.
feeling bad. That's nice of you. You'll have to buy her a cup of coffee after or something to make up for it. Although I don't think you really drink coffee.
Oh,
so
I love
You do
coffee.
coffee. You
Yes.
do coffee. It's Kim. No, Kim likes tea over
Yes.
coffee.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
the same way. I like tea over coffee.
you?
Indeed.
Okay.
Well, all right. So we can't thank you enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing that information.
So there's always something going on in Denton, and there's always something going on at the chamber. So we've got some ribbon cuttings to kind of talk about.
I've got those. Okay. So our first, as a chamber member, you have the opportunity to post both your community events and set up your ribbon cutting with the fabulous Travis. So the ribbon cuttings we have coming up, the first is on April 19th, starting at 4:00. It's Make the Move Teams ribbon cutting. And I remember that they do real estate.
They do real estate, yeah.
I think I asked like 3 weeks in a row, what do they do? So, and it's Beth Caudill. So Beth, you can reach out to Beth to learn more or just show up on the 19th. They are located off of Hickory. Then we have Ideal Dental. They will have their ribbon cutting on April 27th at 4 o'clock. And Katie Fletcher is the contact. And so we will look forward to seeing you there. And last, oh, cool. I'm so glad they joined the chamber. The Denton Grill will have their ribbon cutting. They are the new little spot on the corner. Oh, my gosh. Rick Wick. Oh. Hi, Rick.
We have an observer.
We have a guest outside. He came in. He totally distracted me because he put his head up against the window, causing trouble. So the Denton Grill will take place on May 4th at 12 to 12:30. So it's the perfect just plan to have lunch there. Just go over there and support. And it's free to attend. And I imagine they will have some taste testers. I mean,
oh, yes,
not,
absolutely.
I suggest that y'all do. Community events or your events?
I'll take chamber first.
Okay, chamber.
So we've got some chamber events coming up. The quarterly membership luncheon and Leadership Denton graduation will be happening on Friday. That's April the 20th, starting at 11:30 to 1. The event is going to commemorate, or not commemorate, the commencement of Leadership Denton.
And commemorate their graduation.
True. We'll go with that, too.
Yeah, it works.
So Leadership Denton will be graduating, and they'll do a project presentation. So we'll get to see...
Jake will be there. It'll be right before he goes off and gets married.
That's true.
It's the perfect send-off.
Congratulations. And then... we'll also have Haysbury White and Van Zant, who are the luncheon sponsors. They're going to be...
Thank y'all.
Yes, thank you. They're going to be playing a video that I hear is going to be funny. And so I'm looking for... I haven't seen any copies of this, but there'll be a lot of entertainment at this luncheon.
I hear, there's going to be videos for Leadership Denton. Sounds like the Haysbury White Van Zant's going to have a video. Yeah. Is it a video? Okay, we'll see what they're up to.
So we're looking forward to it. Apparently, it's going to be funny. And then we've got our membership mixer for April coming up on the 26th. That's a Thursday here at Campus Theater right off the square. That's co-hosted by Music Theater of Denton and Denton Community Theater. And that'll be at 5 o'clock. Then we've got Women in Commerce having their mixer.
Yay!
It's called In the Mix with Wink. That'll be on May 1st, starting at 5 o'clock at Lakeside Craft Kitchen. That's at the Unicorn Lake near the Cinemark.
Yes.
So, again, 5 to 7.
Shout out to Pat Sherman and her team, who Pat is the chair of Wink this year, and they've been doing a phenomenal job of putting all this together. And I know Hope Galloway, I think, is the community chair for that, and they've just been working hard. I'm so excited they're doing it there. If you haven't been there, they have a great patio, really good bites. It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
So there'll be complimentary apps, some happy hour drink specials, and Women in Commerce will just kind of have like a little brief program to kind of talk about what the committee is all about. And I want to say that they're getting a cocktail sort of concocted that's going to be Wink's sort of signature cocktail. So we'll find out what that is too.
Well done.
And then we've got the next business networking lunch coming up on May 11th. This is a monthly event that happens kind of early in the month on a Friday, where we have a limited number of seats. It's about 40 to 50 people that show up, but it's really good networking. It's kind of like a lunch and learn. So we have lunch. It's $15 for members. There's a non-member price. I don't know off the top of my head.
I think it's like 25.
20, somewhere around there.
Okay.
But it's a lunch, and then we have somebody who speaks for some sort of a learning topic, and there's networking involved. We do some door prizes. If people bring them, we'll raffle them off for them.
Cool.
We get all kinds of fun stuff. And then what else?
And that's at Spring Hill, right?
That's at Spring Hill. That's on Friday, May 11th, starting at 11:45 to 1. And then so that takes us into
and last but not least, of all the events, if that wasn't enough happening in Denton, we've got our community events. And so, as I mentioned, as a chamber member, you get to share these events. It can be something happening at your business or just in the community at large that you want to support. And so the first is Games for Change, and Youth and Family Counseling chamber member is hosting on April 26th a fun get together at Game Changers, and that's going to be from 5 to 8. And Game Changers is actually going to donate 1% of their proceeds from that evening, and there's going to be games, and I think you dress up. I don't know. I'm looking real quick. Be a hero in a group. Yes, there's a best costume wins a prize. Awesome. That'll be so fun. So that's going to be April 26th. And then we have May 11th. It is the Caregiver Support Group, and it's for families that are coping with memory care needs. It's a support group that you can get together, and they meet the second Friday of every month. So you can go and learn more about all of these events, as well as the chamber events at denton-chamber.org. And then I'm just going to give a shout out to Thin Line.
Yeah, please do.
It's this weekend, right?
Yes,
it
is.
Yeah, it's this weekend. They're going to be at Campus Theater and Movie Tavern, and then there'll be music all throughout Denton and shows. It's a big deal. So go and support. It's free. Launch today.
It starts today.
It starts today.
Yeah. Indeed.
So you guys can go today. And it's free. It's a free film festival. And they've got, their lineup is impressive. They've got films coming out of Sundance. They have people that are launching their documentaries. And my understanding, they came and talked at Rotary about it. And my understanding is they have film, like documentaries being submitted that they can't even take all of them.
Right.
Like, how amazing is it that in Denton, we are able to bring in all of these cool documentaries and highlight all of these creative spirits. So support them, because we need more of that.
Yeah, you always hear about Sundance, or you hear about what's another one? A film festival.
The other ones.
Oh, there's another one that's named after a place. I had it in my head.
I can't tell who say launch day. So
that was
it was
just a comment to you. You're so not discreet about these things. So
it was Jake telling. Oh, how embarrassing.
But wouldn't it be nice if I'm sure it's getting to this point that like Denton will become known as like a film festival location.
Well, yeah, we are getting the noticed as that, like the recognition of that.
I want to say the Convention and Visitors Bureau and Texas Highways Magazine had kind of collaborated with Thin Line to have a like Texas themed submission viewing type of thing. And
yes,
so,
and we are being recognized as a film-friendly community.
Yeah, it's really
exciting.
exciting.
We got the music, we got
Such
the
a wonderful
film.
creative
I
place.
know. We got tacos. I had to put it in there.
And then,
the best.
What is it? Arts and Jazz Fest is happening not
Yes.
this weekend, but next.
Yes, the end of April.
Yep. So there's so many ways to get involved, so many fun things.
Yes,
So
there's always something to do in Denton.
I love Denton.
And with that, I'd like to wrap things up. But before we do, prepared fun question.
It's
All right.
getting more and more awkward as we do this song. We've talked about having a theme song, and
I know,
that's
we
where
never
we
actually
got
work
to.
on it.
And I feel like it's.
I mean, there are lots of creative musicians in the community who maybe could help
We
you
put the
with
call
that.
out all the time.
Help
us.
Please help
It
them.
I felt real embarrassing as we had like Jamie Wilson, the superintendent
Oh, sure.
of JISD here, and we're like.
No, we're not going to do it. It's embarrassing.
Just kidding.
So, okay, what was our question? Do you remember?
What is your favorite food?
Yeah, we haven't done that one before. Okay.
So my favorite food is bacon.
Awesome.
Okay.
I love bacon.
And can we talk about bacon? What do you like
Yes.
about
What
bacon
do
that
you
makes
like?
it your
Delicious.
favorite?
It's delicious. I did see a funny meme the other day that had how people like their bacon cooked different
perfect,
ways. Some
yes.
people are crispy bacon people.
Right.
Some people are real soggy, hardly cooked bacon
Gross.
people.
Right.
I'm a right in the middle bacon person.
So is there a
Not-
little bit of each texture
Yes.
on that?
Yes, I don't want it too
Gotcha.
crispy because then for me it loses the flavor. I like it to be a little bit juicy, but not raw.
Have you been
That's a little dangerous.
to Community Market? The Divine Swine is one of the market vendors.
No, I haven't been yet.
They give out bacon
Oh
samples.
well, maybe I'll be going now.
They will
What
be there. I don't know if they're there every Saturday.
Every week,
but,
I don't know either.
And then they sell giant things of bacon.
And
It's
how
important.
how far do you take love of bacon? I mean, are there like chocolate covered bacon, candied
Oh
bacon?
yeah, do you put it on
I don't
anything
like
weird?
it. I mean, lots of Hypnotic has that donut that
Oh,
has
yeah.
the maple
Canadian
and bacon.
healthcare.
You know, yes. I don't like it on other things. I can eat it
By
by
itself.
or I can put it in a salad or
Okay.
Oh,
in an
little bacon
omelet
mix.
or other.
Yeah.
But I don't like it with
You
sweet
like it
You like
things.
it in its
unadulterated.
original
Yes.
form.
I don't like
Right.
it with sweet things or like in chapstick, bacon chapstick.
It sounds
I collect
horrible.
chapstick, so someone gave me that once, and I was like,
I believe
"Ooh,
Atomic Candy
goes
could probably
too
get you hit up with
far.
the bacon
It
theme.
goes too
Yeah.
far.
a little too much."
Okay,
Toothpaste.
not to. Divine Swine bacon is so good, and they have this thing called bacon crack.
Which is?
And
Tell me about that.
Okay, so it's this jar, and of course the name, I was like, what is this? Like, I've got to learn more. And it's like this, they've like, I don't even know how they did it, but they put like bacon into this sort of like a dip type base, and you can taste that too. It's so...
Wait, is it sweet, savory?
They have
Is it
3 different flavors.
Okay.
The original, which tastes like bacon with a little bit of herbs. The like there's one that's like super spicy, and then one that's like kind of sweet. And you can eat it by itself, put it in as a dip. You can put it in your salad.
Dip bacon in it.
You can dip bacon in the bacon
I
crack.
love where you're going with this.
Mind blown.
That's some meta bacon dip.
I mean,
That's awesome.
so
I'm so glad we asked that question.
Everybody
too.
loves bacon, except probably vegetarian.
Indeed. So I'm getting real jazzed about the bacon thing, but in my head I'm thinking like
Gross.
vegetarian versions of this.
Yeah.
But there are lots of vegetarian versions of...
They're not the same. They're not the same.
Because at
but-
one point you did eat meat. So you know
Yeah.
the flavor of bacon that you are...
Yeah, funny enough, if I was to smell it now, I don't think I would enjoy it.
It's been like long enough that...
It's been long enough that it doesn't smell like a food
separated
item
from it.
anymore to me.
Yeah.
Got it. Yes. Well, we will enjoy bacon on your behalf.
Yes.
I smell the version of vegetarian bacon when it's cooking, and I'm like, this is mouth-watering to me now.
Well, see, there's bacon for everyone.
There is.
Right.
You can make it work,
You can make it
Universal
work.
love of bacon.
right?
Oh, bacon.
All right. Well, thank you very much. That was a fun diversion.
I know. Well, thanks
right.
so much, Hillary, for sharing just a little bit of your insight. You guys, April 25th, Denim Day. Let's all wear jeans. It is on us, Denton County, and we expect you to wear those blue jeans or whitewash jeans. Bring back the 80s. We don't judge.
Any denim.
Any denim. Any denim.
All right. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
I'd like to also thank DentonRadio.com and
Thanks, Jake.
especially Jake for his support in the production
Thanks
of
for
the
your
Chamber Coffee
comments.
Grind. We're rooting for you for this for your wedding this weekend.
Such a weird thing to say. I hope you make it.
Oh, gosh.
Good luck.
So, for more information about the Denton Chamber of Commerce, you can find us at denton-chamber.org or follow and friend us on social media.
Yeah.
And remember to tune in every Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Except next week.
Next week
Because Jake's getting married.
Yes.
Marriage. I don't
Marriage.
know.
We are
What
gathered
is...
here today.
Yes, we are gathered
Wow.
here.
True love.
True love.
Indeed.
Everyone go and watch that movie in tribute of Jake's wedding. The Princess Bride.
Princess Bride.
Just in case. Is
Thanks.
that it?
Yeah, that's it. Thank
All
you.
right. You did
Well,
good.
thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Don't miss the Thin Line Film, Music, and Photo Festival coming up soon. Make sure to register at thinline.us. And while you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at classicofdenton.com.